Morning, Joolse from Joolsedesigns and JT Creations. So we're going to do a masterboard this morning, and it's just a large book page. Now this is a dictionary book page, and what I'm wanting to do is I'm wanting to make a page for a journal. So what I've done is I've just put a bit of tea, splashed a bit of tea, dried it off, and then put a little bit of gesso on, just to whiten it off. Now I've been playing with the jelly plate, so I'm wanting to use these bits and pieces. I am going to use a bit of gesso. It's not expensive. Well, it's £5 from the works, and this has lasted me a long time. I have mixed a bit of water with it because it got a bit lumpy at one point, and it's not done it any harm. But you can, if you don't have gesso, you can use white acrylic paint. So I am going to do I might stop and get some more of that book page. I'm not quite sure. Right, so, and these are just misprints and that I've used for doing on the jelly plate. As you can see, the printer wasn't exactly the greatest. And using my trusty coffee card, and I want it on that side. Some of these have jelly plate, or I've used a jelly plate both sides, which is fine. I don't want my card. Take that off. So when you get to this part of your collage board, you usually leave it to dry, because the glue is quite, it's glue stick, and glue stick does dry quite quick, but you're best off leaving it dry to get the best results. I'm just wiping this glue from here. So I am going to let this dry, and I will come back to you. So I'll see you in a bit. Okay, and it's dry. So what I'm going to do now is I'm just going to calm it down a bit with some gesso. All I'm using is just an old holiday card. And I'm just, and you can scrape this on. You can use a brush if you want. can even use your fingers. Right, now I've got a lot on my fingers. And gesso is a primer, so it's normally used on a canvas. It's an acrylic primer. I've got it stuck up my nails. And it's to protect, you know, the canvas from sort of like the medium that you're going to put on. So it'll protect. If I was wanting to do sprays and things like that, normally what would happen is the ink and that would lift, because most of the inks that I used are water reactive. But if you put gesso, you can get clear gesso. I've not seen that in the works, but you can get clear gesso and you can cover your work with clear gesso and, you know, your page, and then you can sort of like go over with inks and everything. And I know it looks as if I'm just redoing all what I've just done, but it's easier to do it this way. You never get it perfect the first time, so, and I like putting gesso on, and when it dries, and we'll get that, it's all stuck up my nails and everything. And what I'll do is I'm going to dry this off, and I'll be back when this is dry. Okay, so I'll see you in a bit. Okay, that's me back. So that's dry. So now what I want to do is a bit of stenciling. And I've got this circle one. But what I'm wanting to do is I'm wanting to do some of the colours that I'm using in the DigiKit. So I've picked out Evergreen Bough. I've picked out Antique Linen, Saltwater Taffy. I've also got some Pickled Raspberry, some Shabby Shutters because I have other colours, other greens. I've got a little bit of prize ribbon, which I won't use a lot of. Some speckled egg and some iced spruce, which is a green kind of in between those two. And how I'm going to use them is I'm going to spray them on here, and just putting a little bit of water on, and I'm just going to see what this is like. And we've got a little bit. That looks quite nice. So we'll do a bit more, whoops, of and that's evergreen bow in the oxide. I'm liking that, and I'm just wiping this. Sometimes if you wipe it over you get like the okay, and then where's my little teacup? So then the other colour that's quite prominent is the cream. Now the nearest thing I've got to cream is I'm just trying to get all the chalky substance off the bottom. That's it. Is the antique linen. And I'm not sure if I'm going to do some crosses. And let me get another. Alright, so I'm going to use this. Now, I've not mixed any water with this one, so we'll see what it looks like. That's quite pretty. A bit small, you can't see them, but never mind. So we'll try rubbing this one in. And I know it has a lot of other colours to go over the top. Oop, don't do that. Hold your stencil down. These stencils I got from either the Works or Hobbycraft. They weren't expensive. I think they were £5 for a set of 5. So you can see again, we'll just stencil down. What I'll do is I will mix that last bit with a bit of water. And it's a bit squeaky. And there we are. And I'm just wiping. I do clean these afterwards. I am wiping them a little bit. And then the next colour is the pink. Now this is a bit too bright. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to mix it. with a bit of antique linen and a bit of abandoned coral. Oh no, that's a bit okay. So what I'm doing is I'm just pouncing that on instead of using it through a stencil because it was just too dark. But this way it will go on lighter. So to get that colour I would go with abandoned coral and antique linen. And it is coming through in the pinks, and that's ice spruce, so I want some speckled egg. And this is a pale blue, so I'm going to mix it with a little bit of evergreen bough and a bit of prize ribbon. And again we'll mix it, but I'm not putting my fingers in it this time. Right, okay, so that's not a bad colour. I'm going to try a bit of a feather on the end there. And see what it comes up like, because they always come up a bit lighter than what, and then they dry lighter. Yep, that's fine. So I'm just doing some feathers. It doesn't matter if they don't look like feathers. I'm not that particularly bothered. I'm just wanting the colour. And I'm just pouncing it on. I'm not rubbing it in because this this stencil isn't very good for rubbing in. It's more for pouncing. And there's still plenty of colour in this. And you can see where it's going on. Where it's going on the pink, it's going a bit purple, so that's the blue coming out. You really shouldn't shake them like that because it goes all over. It's going to bring a bit more blue in. And I'm just using the one feather and I'm just dotting it about. So we'll use the other feather now on this one. No. Do that here the edge. Do one in the middle. There. I'm not particularly bothered if it doesn't look like a feather. It's the colour more than anything that I'm interested in. Okay, and I'll have a bit of blue on this one. There we are. So that's looking quite good. I'm going to go back with the pink again because I want a bit more pink. I'm going to go with the abandoned coral. And again, you shouldn't really so that's two of them. What I'm going to do is I'm just going to put, that's it, and hopefully that's enough to it'll do. And right, I don't want that. I think I'll go with the circles again. So I'm looking for a pink. Again, I'm pouncing it. I'm not going to mix any water with it because I'm going to have a look and see what it looks like. Yeah. I think we might have a little bit more of a just a little bit darker. That looks more like it, and we'll do a bit over here. Yeah, so I'm quite liking that. Yeah, just go with those, so we can put some of those pictures on. I think that's what we'll do. So I'm just going to go away and dry this off before we start sticking any other mediums on. So I will see you in a bit.